Basically, these involved cramming notes prepared by teachers and working out arithmetic problems endlessly. This was the time when I had to read additional books. I enjoyed reading books on history and geography. The examination went well for me, and I topped the list of scholars for Bakargan's range. My father felt very proud of my success. Looking back, I can say that we were not challenged to read and write on our own. I now feel that once a young child has learned to read and write, he or she should be encouraged to read books and write about the things around him or her. Once a young boy or girl has acquired skills independently, he or she will enjoy schooling related to anything to his or her liking. Our system of education at the primary level continues not to promote and support self-development, creativity, and blooming of potentials. Today, a 6-year kid is sadly burdened with several kilograms of books and papers carried on the back, and with no excitement for developing his or her potential or creativity. I attended 4 secondary schools before I appeared at the metric examination. Since my father was on transferable job, I changed school with his transfer. Though these were the so-called best schools at the Dhaka level, they were hardly well staffed. Classes were not very interesting, except those of geometry and history. We were not encouraged to work hard, think independently, and show originality. However, our teachers were very sincere and taught us seriously. I still remember them and thank them. I passed metric in 1961 and got admitted into Dhaka College in the science group for higher secondary program. I received a seat in the South State, and this was for the first time I was living away from my parents. For my rural background, the surrounding and atmosphere of Dhaka College and registers were something I loved. I was excited by finding Professor Shota Dusman teaching us Bangla. His short story, Abbas, was included in the syllabus of Bangla in the secondary school. He was a great teacher, and for the whole year, he expounded to us the human side of man and society. He talked about social ills, inequalities, exploitation, labor movement, freedom of thought and expression, and so forth. He was influenced by the colonial era, independence movement in the colonies, rise of socialism, evils of capitalism, and class struggles for equality and justice. For me, it was a meeting with a great mind face to face, telling us to work toward creating a classless, egalitarian society. Final SSC exam was over in less than 22 months from the date of starting the class. The result was published towards the end of July, during which I was staying in our village home. My father brought the daily Ittefaq, publishing the SSC results with my name included in the merit list. He also brought Rasagullah for celebration. After the SSC, what to do? I had 2 things in mind: physics or chemical engineering. I completed formalities for studying physics at Dhaka University. At the same time, I was preparing for drawing test for admission into Engineering University. I passed the drawing test, and when I faced the board for selection, I simply told them my choice is chemical engineering. My liking of chemical engineering was because I liked chemistry, and the visit to the first natural gas-based ammonia-urea complex at Penchigons somewhat influenced my choice. Today, I must admit it was the right choice. The classes at the Engineering University began on November 15, 1963. In the first semester, I was allocated a seat in the main hostel, what is today Rashid Bhavan. 4 of us shared room number 39. The accommodation was very comfortable, what I now term very much royal. The program at BUET was strict and regimented. In the winter, before the sun rise, we will come to the university playground for 30-minute physical training. I consider it a healthy beginning for a day. When the midterm exam became due, I was attacked with chickenpox and shifted to University Medical Center, which stood in the security office beside the civil engineering building. Another student with chickenpox was admitted into the center. We shared the same room. I was moved by our Vice Chancellor, Dr. Rashid's love, care and concern for the two of us at the center. He used to visit us regularly in the evening. His kindness and caring words boosted our morale. Hope we learned something from him. I missed the midterm exam. I passed the semester with the final exam on the basis of the full marks. I was credited only for the allocated remainder portion of the marks set aside for the final exam. Since our evaluation of our 8th semester was cumulative one, in my case, I had to carry on with 0 against marks allotted for the lost midterm exam. I was unhappy and disappointed. I vowed to complete the program with the first class so that I would have all through first class academic credentials. We learned that the chemical engineering program here had been designed in line with Johns Hopkins University, University of Dhaka, and Texas A&M College. Professor Nasir, Professor Syed Mazharul Haq, Dr. Iqbal Mahmood, Dr. Hibab Tazi, Mr. Surah Hussain, and others taught us. Professor Nasir was my final year thesis supervisor, while Professor Haq taught us mass transfer, Dr. Mahmood, industrial stoichiometry, heat transfer, transport phenomena and corrosion. Dr. Kazi taught us kinetics, process control, plant design, and Mr. Hussain taught us thermodynamics. We were taught intensively. There were not many textbooks like there are today. Total number of textbooks available could not occupy more than 20 inches of the bookshelf. The first 2 semesters were common to all engineering students, and departments were chosen in the 3rd semester. In each semester, we had to study 7 to 8 theory courses, and there were 4 to 5 practice or laboratory courses. The program was demanding, but not aggressive, as the material covered were not too much. Personally, I found industrial stoichiometry, heat transfer, transport phenomena, thermodynamics, and plant design very interesting and challenging. As a final year plant design project, I worked on the design of a carbon black plant using natural gas as a raw material. I now realize that it was not a right design project, as it involves more art than science or engineering, and the design-related matters are commercial secrets. Learning chemical engineering. After graduating in chemical engineering, I joined the Indian Council of Scientific Industrial Research Laboratories at Dhaka as a chemical engineer. Dr. A. Khan, Director of